Welcome to Master Domaining. I'm Gene Pimentel, and in this session, we'll talk about the sit back and wait exploit. According to Forbes.com, approximately 543,000 new businesses get started each month in America. That's each month. That's a staggering 500,000 new businesses every 30 days. I don't know the count for other countries, but the information in this training session can be applied anywhere in the world where people start businesses. The interesting thing is, most of these new companies don't get a domain name right away. They're in the beginning stages of planning their business, and one of the first things they do is decide what type of structure they'll use. Most in the US will be sole proprietorships, and many will be LLCs or corporations. Those that decide on a formal structure register their name at one of the many state websites. The state websites typically have an online database where you can search for newly formed business entities. And this is a goldmine of information for domainers. Imagine, by conducting a simple search, you can find all the brand new businesses that have registered within the last few days. It's a simple matter of looking through the daily list and cherry-picking new, generic business names that you can convert into .com domains. Notice I place the emphasis on generic. We're not in the business of extorting money from businesses by registering domains that apply only to them. We're using the database of new businesses to get ideas for new domain names that can be applied to many different businesses with the same name. This type of domain can be a very passive sell. If there are a good number of businesses using the same name, it's often just a matter of time before one of them approaches you with an inquiry to buy. Let me be clear. You'll need to inject a healthy dose of ethics when playing with this method. Every individual domainer has to decide where to draw the line. In my opinion, any generic business name is fair game to buy and sell. The one who registers it first had the most foresight, just as when people invest in real estate. Delaware is one of the most popular states to register a new corporation or LLC, regardless of which state the company's in. So let's take a look at a list of the most recent business registrations now. The Delaware Business Search can be found at delaware.gov, and the actual page you'll want to find is at dorrevenue.revenue.gov/BUSSRCH. So this page is the search engine to find new registered businesses, and all you have to do is come down to this box where it says business activity began from and to, and you just enter the dates. So you'll typically want to enter the most recent dates as of right now. So for example, I can enter May 1st of 2015 to May 15th of 2015. Then just click search. And now we have a complete list of all the most recent business applications for corporations or LLCs or other type of business structure. So looking down this list and seeing the business names, you'll see that a lot of them are really just for that particular business, but you'll also find several very generic type business names. For instance, here's one called Garden Tree Landscaping. I'll bet there are many different companies that have that same name. So all you'll do is copy the name and do a quick Google search to see what the results are. If it's a unique name to them, I wouldn't register it. But keep scrolling down. Here's one called Hazard Towing. That's a pretty generic name that can be applied to many different towing companies. Here's another one called Roadrunner Towing. And here's one called Poppycock Gifts. I bet if I did a search for Poppycock Gifts, there'd be many companies that show up with that name. And here's one called Oceanfront Fish House. That sounds like it could be a generic business name. We could do a search for that and see how many companies are using that name. The point is to find the generic business names, and you're using this list as a general idea generator for finding and registering new domain names. Precision Home Improvements. There are probably many companies that use that same name. Now, I'm just quickly looking through this list and guessing at which ones are which, but all you do is do a quick Google search, or you can search on directories like Yelp or Yellow Pages or Super Pages. And once you find a generic name that applies to many businesses, that's a great domain to register and just keep in your inventory. Use a GoDaddy coupon code to register them for $1 or a couple of dollars each, and it really won't cost you much. Yet when you sell just one, it can be very profitable and it'll pay for all the registrations, and any of the other registrations that you purchased that did not come through just don't matter. Let's say you registered 20 of these names and it cost you 40 or 50 bucks to do so. If you sell just one of these names for $500 or $1,000 or a couple of $1,000, what difference does that $40 or $50 make? And of course, you can be proactive in selling these by listing them on Sedo, then contacting all the businesses that have that business name and pointing them to the link on Sedo and having them bid on it. Now, keep in mind, this is one resource in Delaware. You'll have to search various state government sites to find other sites that provide a search engine for finding new companies that have just registered new corporations or other official business structure. The main thing is just to keep it simple, don't go over your head, simply use a little common sense, find some generic domain names that can apply to many businesses that use that exact name for their business, and you have a gold mine waiting in your inventory that quite often you can just leave alone and they will approach you because their business name matches your domain name exactly.